All right, whoosh, squeeze the neck. We are back again. Fight Zone, Costa, Blanca, my last day, so bittersweet with my new mate, Rafael Colonhese.
Yes,
Bosh, nice.
Yes,
How you
man.
doing, bro?
I'm good, man. Thank
Nice.
you.
Thank you very much for doing this, mate. As I say, it's my last day, so it's bittersweet. I wish I was staying longer. I didn't get the pleasure to train with you. I had a little injury, but another time.
Yeah, that's
another
true.
time. So tell me, mate, where are you from? You told me recently, just now, that you used to live in London. So
Yes.
tell me about where you're from originally, mate.
Well, I'm from Brazil, born and raised, and since 2018, I'm all around Europe here trying to sort it out and living the dream of Jiu-Jitsu life, you know?
Nice, man.
Yeah.
And third degree black belt.
Yeah, third
so
degree
you
black
know a little
belt.
bit about Jiu-Jitsu, no?
A little bit, yes.
When did you start? Was it back home?
New few tricks, yes. I
Yeah.
started back home. I started with 15 years old, I was, in high school. I had a lucky that in my school we had like extra hours, Jiu-Jitsu classes twice a week.
In school?
In school, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
okay. All right.
So that was my first experience with Jiu-Jitsu. And then after that, after 6 months, we're doing two times a week at school. My mom used to live in Europe. She moved back to Brazil, and I went to live with her. And I was lucky enough to have the gym like maybe 100 meters from my apartment. So
Nice.
yeah.
Yeah. And how old are you now?
I'm 33.
33, young
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
Still
Yeah,
young and
still-
beautiful, huh?
still young. Thank you for that, yeah.
Well, I'm 34, so we're kind of same.
Oh,
age.
yeah.
But when I'm
Yeah.
on here, I normally say I'm 21, so
Oh, yeah, you
don't
can-
tell nobody.
I see you can use the filters and everything, fix the mistake.
Exactly, yeah, exactly. So what brought you to England eventually? You say you travel around Europe first?
Yeah, man. I went to Italy, from Brazil to Italy I have a part of family there and have documents and everything. And I was teaching there also mostly private classes. And I had an opportunity to go to England to fight, London Open, I think, at the time. And basically I just stayed.
Is that right? Yeah.
Yeah, things started working out, and I was working with part-time in a state agency and training. And after 2 months in London, I started to train at Fightzone London. So where I got to meet Marco and James and Christina
Nice.
and all of the Fightzone crew. And after a month, I think, training over there, Marco invited me to take over a few classes in the morning, 7 a.m. that they were opening.
Nice.
And actually, the coach was leaving, and they were needing a new coach, so they invited me to stay.
And what level of jiu-jitsu? Are you already a black belt at this point?
Yes, I was
Already,
black belt.
yeah.
I got my black belt in 2013. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
man, black belt before I even started jiu-jitsu.
Oh,
Jesus
really?
Christ,
When did
yeah.
you start it?
2014.
Okay, yeah.
So yeah, right
Yeah.
back in the day. That's cool because I started in London, obviously, right? But when I started, black belts were, I mean, not rare, but like if a black belt was in class, it was like, okay, no, there's a black belt. Do you know what I mean? Like when I
know what
started,
you mean. Yeah.
when I started, my instructor was a black belt, but I think like it was like maybe 2 blue belts, the rest were white belts. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I
So
know what
like
you mean, yeah.
there was a brown belt visited once, and it was like, fucking no, look, it's a fucking, it's like touch him, he's real. Do you know what I mean? It was like one of them deals.
understand,
And it's not that long ago, right? So like for you to be
yeah.
a black belt back in the day and come to London, was it quite a big deal?
Well, sorry, I just got lost here. I was doing the
Yeah,
maths
yeah,
like
yeah.
you're doing
Yeah, no, of
jiu-jitsu in
course.
10 years and how
Yeah.
things change in 10 years, right?
Massive, yes. I mean, like when you was in London, and obviously you came and you're a black belt, and you're
Yeah.
from Brazil, like a
Yeah,
real
yeah.
Brazilian as well. Was that quite a big deal? Was people like interested to train with you?
No, I don't think so.
No.
No, I don't think so. I think things changes very, very quick, right? And Jiu-Jitsu is developing, it's well developed in Europe, I'll say, still growing. But I think UK is the best country in Europe for Jiu-Jitsu.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So when I moved to UK, wow, I don't know how many black belts had already in UK. So it's
that right?
nothing new, you know.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, maybe.
Well, it's funny because there was a guy I had on here, Freddie, and he said when we was talking, about like there used to be Black Thursdays in London. It used to be a big thing, and I remember like I was a white belt or blue belt maybe at the time, and like you'd hear about these Black Thursdays.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
you're
yeah.
like, fucking one day, bro, one day I'll be
yeah.
there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I don't think they happen anymore. I don't think they're there.
I don't think they happen anymore. Yes, I was in the Black Thursdays maybe for a couple of times, and then they just stopped it to
Because there was got like my instructor. I don't know. The first person I ever trained under black belt was Alex Slater. I don't know if you heard of Alex Slater.
No.
He used to go sometimes to. He was from Third Space. I don't know if you heard Third Space gym.
Yes.
Yeah, that's where I started for the first few weeks before I went to new school and whatnot. But they, great memories, great guys and stuff like that. But when you come, before you come, because I saw you earlier, you was teaching, looked like an MMA class.
Yeah.
Have you fought MMA as well?
Yeah, in London, yeah.
Oh, you did?
I did, yeah. Like after the pandemic, I started to, let's move a little bit of striking. I never did striking, never practiced striking before. And we had like a very good coaches at Fightzone London, Marlon and Jose. I started with them. And at the time, Brad Pickett and GB Top Team, they were just starting, and they were doing a few sessions at Fightzone London, and I saw a very nice crew to train, and I was like, oh, can I join you guys for a few sessions? And then Brad Pickett is like welcomed me very well, and I did a couple of sessions with them, training, sparring, and I had 2 amateur fights,
Nice.
In the Cage Warriors East. Yeah.
That's cool. Well, I'll tell you why, because when I was watching you do that earlier, it seemed like it was like a teenage class, right?
Yeah,
They're young boys.
Yeah.
But they mean it, don't they? They're like, they're
They
real.
are very mean, yeah. I think the oldest one is like 16 years old.
Really, yeah.
And they like a small crew, and they do Jiu-Jitsu, Muay Thai during the week, and Saturdays they have this time in the morning to.
That's cool, man. What's the scene like here? Because like I come out here and obviously like I did a class with Nadine, and it was white belts in the class, but good white belts. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they mean it. They're training hard. They're doing, you know what I mean? Like they for the rounds. There was a kid in there. I spoke about this with Nadine as well. 16-year-old kid. Maybe you know who he is. He just started, and it's good to see. You know, because sometimes you travel outside of like big cities, and the level's not the same as like in London or whatever. Do you know what I mean? Like you come here and it's like the guys are pretty serious. You know, it seems like you got a good group.
Thank you for the feedback. Yes, I understand what you're saying. Like as I said to you before, like my personal opinion is that London, UK is the mecca of Jiu-Jitsu in Europe. I think it's the strongest sparrings, strongest teams, right? Most number of competitions. So that kind of thing brings people up, right? Technique and heart, right? You need to be a warrior to fight, right? And if you are surrounded by good sparring with partners, there's no way that you're gonna be like a soft one, you know what I mean? You're gonna get tough. And we try to replicate the same atmosphere we had in London here at the gym, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like a very friendly space, very friendly teammates, but when we're talking about sparring and session, they go serious and they manage to keep the focus, right? Yeah. Without hurt anybody right?
Yeah, well, it's funny you said that because I was speaking earlier with our mate on the wall, Arthur. You know, he was saying exactly the same, like the thing, because he was in London. The environment of like, it's a friendly environment, but also like tough, you know what I mean? Like tough sessions, you got to train properly and stuff, which I think is important because, you know, it's like you go away sometimes to places and it's friendly, but the training's like
too soft.
Yeah, right? it's like it almost like turns into what you imagine like karate became. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yes, I do got you what you mean by that, because I think Jiu-Jitsu changed a lot since I started, right? I always share this with the guys, with my students, like man, you have no idea how much this thing has changed, because I remember back in the days when I started, my gym was only adults class, so no beginners, no advanced. It was
just class.
Just class, right? And in a way, that was good because you have to cowboy up, right? You need to go tough or you go home, right?
Yeah, oh yeah.
But nowadays, I think things changed because it's not everyone that want to be a competitor, right?
No.
Not everyone that wants to go home like a sword or dealing with a tendinitis or something like a black eye going to the office, right? Of course. So things changed a lot. I think Jiu-Jitsu nowadays is more welcome to everyone. And but at the same time, I think you need to maintain the balance of tough sessions and light sessions. Otherwise, people will not having that actually taste of Jiu-Jitsu, right? That is to deal with pressure.
Right.
If you go too soft, you will never put yourself in that situation, and you will never be able to to deal with that stress or everything that somebody crashing your face, right?
Right.
And I think it's very important. And nowadays we can manage like you can have a special time on your timetable for the competitors, those ones who want to go crazy, right?
Yeah.
The youth, or have the masters ones, you need to take care of them. So yeah, it's a bit very different from the beginning since I started.
Yeah.
But I think is needed.
Yeah, do you know what? It's funny you say that because it makes me think like I've been in jiu-jitsu long enough now that there's people that started when I started. Like I was in my 20s, I was a grown man, but they was like 7.
Yeah.
And now they're young men, and you're
Yeah,
watching them,
yeah.
and they're like blue, purple belts, and they're smashing it,
Yeah.
and you just go, shit, man, what happened here? Do you
happened?
know what I
Yeah,
mean? What happened
yeah.
around here? Because again, there was kids classes, of course there was. There's kids classes a long time before I was doing jiu-jitsu, but it didn't feel like there was many when I started. Do you know what I mean? Like the places I was training, and there probably was, and people were watching, but oh, there fucking was, but it didn't feel like there was many kids around. You know, there's a few that stick in mind, and they still do jiu-jitsu now. As I say, they're like 17 or whatever, blue belts, purple belts.
Yeah,
and doing really well. But when you talk about that, it's funny. I was in Berlin recently. BJJ Dojo Berlin. It's a checkmate place.
Yeah.
You know the place, right?
Yeah, I know.
There was a guy there.
Rodrigo, right?
Rodrigo, yeah, he's been on the podcast. Shout out Rodrigo, great guy.
Yeah,
And there was a guy I trained with there, Alex Fuchs. I don't know if you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a German, but I think he comes originally from Portugal. Great guy again. Shout out Alex. I learned a lot from him. We trained with him and Rodrigo and another purple belt. I can't remember his guy's name. Comment below if you're there, mate, because he's a great guy. But we had some good training and stuff. And after I was talking to Alex on a podcast about training, and like he was talking like he was doing a private before. He was doing this. He trains here. He trains there. Now it seemed like he trained all day, right? So I said to him like, oh, how many times a week you train? Expecting him to say like, oh, fucking 25, and he said 2 or 3. And I said, bro, I've seen you train 2 or 3 times today. What are you talking about? And he was basically saying, and if I'm butchering it, Alex, you let me know, but he was sort of saying like he trains 2 or 3 times a week, and the rest is sort of like a practice. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. No,
I think it's important, like, and it's not that I didn't necessarily know it anyway, but you know when you hear someone who's at that level and they speak about it, and you go, yeah, fucking, I've got to take that into my training, because it's easy in jiu-jitsu, isn't it? We've all done it, of just training hard 2 times a day, 3 times a day, and your body's fucked, and you're tired, and you've got no interest, right?
No, yeah.
Do you know where I'm coming from? Like, we've training over the years, it adapts. Like, how do you train yourself?
Man, nowadays, like, I change quite a bit. Yeah. Okay, yeah. Sorry.
No problem at all, no.
When I started, it was exactly like this, like 3 times a day, sometimes 4, and by the end of your last session, you're like, shit, you wouldn't perform well, right? And the idea was like, okay, as much I train, I'm gonna get better, right? But I've changed a little bit because teaching and training for a comp or something like that is very hard to work together, right? You have to spend a lot of time teaching, and also have to have your mind clear for that. And when you're training, it's more selfish. It's like it's your time, it's your goal, right? So nowadays I've been doing like if I have a comp ahead, I will take like 3 to 4 times a week, where I have like my training partners, and we have an hour of like hell.
Really, yeah.
Yeah. So I have like we do like program the session for specific rounds and free sparring at the end, but we like just starting from, let's say, bad scenarios, and I have to figure out how to deal with that. And I use a lot of Shark Tank, like 2 guys out, 1 in, and then I'm gonna get on that high intensity frequency, right? Trying to emulate what you're gonna have in a comp, and that pretty much like that. And a lot of physical training, right? Weightlifting and cardio or something like that is very important to keep that balance, right? Of both. But yeah, pretty much like that nowadays, and try to recover well, right?
Right.
Otherwise, like during the years, you're carrying lots of small injuries. Like I have a very bad tendinitis from gripping, and once, twice a year, I have to have a break for maybe 2-3 weeks just to heal
Really?
it.
Okay.
Because it gets very bad.
Yeah.
And back in the days when like I just 15, 16 years old, you don't care, right? You just
Jump off the roof, you're fine.
just pop some ibuprofen and you go for another session.
Exactly,
Let's go.
yeah.
You know what I mean? But yeah, things change when you're getting masters, right?
Yeah, but hey, I think that's the thing. Is like as you get to sort of like we're similar age, right? You get into your 30s. It's like it's like you said. It's the accumulation of little injuries. Like it's not you old yet, right? I still feel good, but it's like you said. You've got the little tightness here, and if you don't take care of it, it's a motherfucker. Isn't it? It comes back and bites you, and then your knee hurts, and then your shoulder hurts, and then it all just goes.
Exactly.
south.
Yeah. I think once you got some point of your training life, that you're gonna have to pay more attention on your recovery, listen more to your body, right? Mm-hmm. And nowadays you have a lot of tools to help you with that, right?
Big time, yeah, absolutely.
So it's not a rocket science. You just need to be smart and listen and.
Yeah. Well, I had a session with Costa, I think his name is, right? I got put onto him from London, sent me shout out Costa, and he was great. And it was weird, like not to give away secrets or anything, but it was like he didn't do much, to be fair. I mean, he felt like he analysed me and what he thought was going on and stuff, but just a few little manipulations. But it was more like what he told me, and little simple things where you go, yeah, fuck, man, that's obvious. Basically, don't smash your head into the wall 10 times a day, and think about it, and like little subtle things he was teaching me with the spine and just how to stay like tall and relaxed and all kinds of stuff. And it was like, man, it only happened yesterday, but I've been practicing some of it today and whatnot. And I just just little simple things, do you know what I mean? Because I think a mistake, and you tell me obviously you got more experience in jiu-jitsu than me, the mistake we make is sometimes when we're trying to get over things, a lot of the time it's just like, let's just train harder. Let's just train harder.
Yes,
you know what I mean? Push and like, you can do it for so long, but then you start to realize, don't you, performance starts to go down. And the reason I say that is like when I got to sort of blue belt, and like, you know, you're like, yeah, fucking hell, I'm doing jiu-jitsu now. And it's like, now I'm coming, you know what I mean? But I remember being in classes sometimes, like you said, like I'd train 2 or 3 times a day, and you're watching people that train 2 or 3 times a week, and they're improving more than you. And I was like, because I'm tired all the time. Like you said, when you go to the 2nd or 3rd session sometimes, I'm sitting there, you could be explaining to me something, and I'm,
you know,
what?
mentally,
What'd you say?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Exactly like this, yeah. When you're tired, things don't work very well, because I think like first you're gonna be slower on your reactions, right?
Yeah.
And sometimes you're gonna choose the wrong option to react, because you're tired, right? You're not like aware of everything. You're like maybe a quarter of your mind is gone already, you know. But you can use this kind of sessions to train on other things, right? Because you're never going to be performing 100% every session. So sometimes you need to use the second session to improve other aspects, like I'm going to work more on my defense, as my attack I will not be able to go that little extra. Let's improve my defense. So I'm gonna be working other things, right? Yeah,
absolutely. I think it's so smart to do.
Yeah, because people just want to attack, just want to tap out.
And you want to win all the time as well, don't you? Like you get to that point, it's like, right, and I'll tell you where I had problems before, where I got like little silly injuries, like the fucking elbow and all that kind of stuff, is, you know, when you're rolling with someone that you're similar level, but you're normally a little bit better than, and then like you're tired and they're fresh, but you're like, no, I've still got to fucking beat them. But to do that, now I sacrifice, I've got an injured knee, I've got a bad, do you know what I mean? And that's the game, that's where it really started to hit home to me, because there was a guy, and I don't know if you know him, Reese Bailey from Brixton. I've mentioned him about 3 times on podcasts since I've been here. I keep mentioning him for different things. Shout out Reese. But he used to train a lot, but he's smaller than me, and he's like a light guy, but he had no ego, and he always seemed like, I always looked at him like he's training right, do you know what I mean? Whereas I'd go, yeah, I'm going to do that, but then 10 minutes into the session, fuck that. Do you know what I mean? I'm just going to train hard again. But he used to like come up, and you could see he was tired at times. Like I'm talking back to like when he was white belt, blue belt. He's a black belt now, but he's like, he'd almost seem like he'd just, like you're saying, he'd turn up and he'd like win the battle today. Do you know what I mean? Like in terms of, he wouldn't try and win the spar all the time. And I can't talk for him. He might say, no, that's not happening. But he'd like, you could see he was working on things. He'd just like get his guard back. Play the game. I got part. I just get the guard back. And like I looked at it, and it's like with the best of intention, I'd always go, I'll do that next time, but it never ended up doing it. You know what I mean?
100%. Yeah, I know what you mean. I try to push the students, especially the higher belts here, do that, right? With, for example, the white belt who started 3 weeks ago, and you're like the dangerous white belt 4 stripes, right? And like, man, you don't need to smash the guy, right? You need to be friendly. And how can you enjoy the session, and how can you bring the best of that session to your game? It's like practicing things that you not allow people to do, right? So I'm not telling you that you need to be like with open guard and let them pass. Offer a little bit of resistance, recover your guard. Okay, let them pass, and then push again, and try to use that in your favor. Otherwise, nobody gonna win.
Right.
Everybody wants to win, but at the end, nobody performed well. The two of them were like just stuck holding the gi, you know what I mean?
Right. Because you see that too, right? You see some people that get to sort of like, I don't know, blue belt level or good white belt level, and they suddenly go into shutdown mode. So they're difficult to tap, but they don't tap anyone anymore either. They just become that guy. Do you know what I mean? And I think you got to be aware of that too, because you can limit yourself, innit?
Yeah, exactly. And then, okay, you won the round, and so what? You know?
Yeah,
you know
right.
What I mean? You
Yeah.
didn't learn nothing. Like you could be practicing on other things and improving on other things, but okay, you won the round.
Your ego's there. Yeah, exactly. But what's it like for you now? Because obviously, 3rd degree black belt, you're at a real high level of jiu-jitsu. Like when you're sparring, do you not pick partners, but do you have certain go-to partners, or do you just train with everyone and work on like what you're saying as and when it comes?
In the general, I train with everyone.
Yeah.
Like with the kids, with the adults and everything, every belt. But if I'm getting ready for a comp, I will have my training partners.
Right.
And then I have that extra hour out of the timetable where we met here and we kill each other, and that's it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm lucky that here in Spain, nowadays I have like four guys.
Oh really? Yeah, that's all you need, right? That's enough.
Yeah, plus Nadine, right?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, absolutely. And what weight do you compete at?
Now lightweight.
Lightweight, which is, what are we talking, 76? Yeah.
Yes. So I'm always in between featherweight and lightweight.
Right.
In 2023, I won the Europeans in feather, but then last year I went up to lightweight.
Yeah. And is this gi or no gi?
Gi.
Yeah. So you have to weigh in the gi as well, I think, right?
Yeah.
Which so 76.
It's hard for me like to cut 70.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah.
I bet because you look like the kind of size that sort of like would be happy maybe 73 or something, right?
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
I'm super happy with 73.
Yeah.
Once I start to drop like a 70, I just go. My mood is like gone.
Yeah, it's tough, isn't it? Once you get to a certain point, like I haven't cut much weight with jiu-jitsu and stuff, but like when I was boxing before, there was like I didn't know what I was doing. Like I'm just 19, 20, like fucking starving. Do you know what I mean? And the coaches, you'd get things like I'm struggling on weight, and they go, "That's all right, don't drink any water today." You're like, well, what the fuck? I've got 3 days till the fight. Like, what do you mean don't drink any water? But like when you get to that point, like I always felt like when you got to a certain level, it's just like fuck. And I've said this before, so I'm repeating myself, but I was like, there was a competition once, and they changed the weight divisions on certain years, so it was either 75 or 69. Now at the time I could do sort of 71, 72, but 69 was like, I got to 69.8, stepped on the scales, missed weight. Coach looked and went, it's okay, just do 75. Bro,
fuck.
2 days ago I was 74. You could have left me the fuck alone. You know what I mean?
And then I could be waiting with a pizza on your
Do you know
hand,
what I mean?
right?
And I got in there and I felt terrible. And I think I won like a majority decision or some but I felt terrible. And I just thought like, what's the point, man? I'd rather feel good and fight a bigger person. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And especially jiu-jitsu, because it's like, it's not. I mean, obviously weight's a massive deal too. But with boxing, sometimes you can get caught with the reach. You're getting punched in the head as well. Like with jiu-jitsu, I just feel like, especially kids. There's a I won't mention who he is, but there was a guy. He was about 16, 17 in my class, and he was saying like, I've got this competition. Should I lose 4 kilos for the next division? I was like, fucking, like, no way, not your age. You know what I mean? Like, to me, especially when you're learning, why are you losing? You shouldn't be losing too much weight, right? It's different if it's a kilo or two, but you know.
Yeah. Different, especially kids, right? Teenagers. Like I always recommend them to go. Oh, man, you need to eat. You need calories. You need everything to grow. You're like in a growing phase, right? You don't need to shut things down.
No.
But yeah, my first competition as a blue belt, I was 16, and I dropped. At the time I was 62, and I had to drop to 58 and a half. Oof, yeah,
that's a lot.
It was
for a kid
a nightmare for a kid. Yeah, it was very tough. At the end, I managed to drop it, but well, it was very tough. And since that time, I was always in the middle. You know, when you were not too heavy to go to the up division, but then you were like a heavy to drop. And as a kid, 16, my coach at the time is like, oh man, go do some weights, eat, and go to the up division. Yeah, don't worry about cutting weight, and not now. You're gonna worry that when you're like an adult or something like that. Yeah. Okay, it was a good advice, and I try to pass that to my students also. Like sometimes you have like parents that comes to you and like, oh, my kid is fighting this weekend, but she weighs like a 35 and there's no kid, and that division up is like, I don't know, 44. What should I do? Should I cut 2 kilos to the? No, put it up, man. Don't worry, they are kids, right? They need to have fun, and it makes no difference, like 5 kilos for kids, something like that, you know.
And also, how old's the kid? We're talking, what, 10, something like that? Who cares? When they're 20, they're not going to care about the competition they lost when they were... Oh, parents care. Yeah, well, I'll tell you, we spoke about this before with plenty of people, like, you know, the parents on the side that care too much, the kid don't really give a fuck, and the parent doesn't even train, so they don't understand.
Oh, yeah.
That's the worst. That drives me crazy, you know what I mean? And you don't see... I haven't seen it much. I mean, you see it a bit in Jiu-Jitsu, but more...
Oh, I've seen a lot.
Oh, you do?
You see every style of parent, right? You have that parent that he's happy with their kid practicing, and that's it. Mm-hmm. And then have another parent, another style that is like, no, my kid is the Messi of Jiu-Jitsu, and he's gonna be like, that's okay. You can think like that, and it's very important. But let the kids be happy and practicing. That's it, right? Most important is like that they having fun practicing Jiu-Jitsu and learning how to defend themselves. The competition and the results are like a consequence of Jiu-Jitsu, right?
Of course,
training
and it's all learning, especially as a kid, right? It's all learning, isn't it? Do you know what I mean?
There's more things than that they are learning. Then they are more important than the medal, right?
Of course,
kid, it's very important Jiu-Jitsu for kids to develop this kind of like deal with losing a match, right? Deal with winning a match, and how are you gonna behave with your opponent, right? And okay, it was a bad competition for you this weekend. What are you gonna do? What can you do to improve? You have the whole week to train. You have the whole month. So this is very, very good for kids. Yeah. And if the parents manage to have a light approach with that and encourage more the kids to compete, but not going for the results, let's say, I think the kid will love it, have fun, and
that's when you really improve, right? When you're enjoying it and you're having fun. Yeah. Because a kid that's stressed out and hates competition, you see him as well, don't you? You see the kids that don't like it, and their parents force them. Yeah.
You can see kids that they really like it, and you can see the kids that they are there because their parents want to. You know what I mean? Yeah. And those who are there like because their parents are pushing them, they don't stay, right? No. At the end, it's gonna get like a too pushing on them, and they're gonna be like, I don't know, I'm gonna
fuck you, Dad. I'm not doing Jiu-Jitsu.
I'm gonna go football, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But I would say like 95% of the kids that try and have their first exposure to a competition, they love it. Yeah. Because I think, imagine for a kid, right? Can be like a bit of overwhelming of emotions and everything, but at the same time, it's like wow, that's so nice. I'm gonna compete and fight, and bringing that team thing with them, like, oh, my mate's fighting on this mat, I'm gonna fight, I'm gonna go watch them, support and everything.
That's cool.
It's very cool. Yeah.
That's cool. Well, hey, you know when a kid starts, so I don't know, whatever age, 7, 8, whenever they're around, how much do you like them to train? Because I think you can definitely train too much at that age, right? Kids come in and they're pushed too much. Like, goes back to the parents again. Parents
goes back to the parents, all the time. Yeah. Here at the gym, the kids started with 4. So we have the first group is 4 to 6 years old, and then we have the older ones like 7 to 11 and 12 to 16.
Right.
We divide kind of like
Yeah.
this. And there's a few days a week they have 3 sessions,
Nice.
and they can pick if you're gonna do gi and no gi, or if you're gonna do gi and no gi, depending of them. They choose, right?
Yeah.
And sometimes they do like a back-to-back one.
Do they really? Yeah,
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
them kids there.
Yeah.
Because you see that, don't you? You see them kids that love it. There's some kids in Brixton that do that, you see, and they just do class.
Oh,
and at the
yeah,
end, they could do 3 classes in a row, and at the end of it, they're like jumping around. They still want to drill. And
Oh,
like
yeah,
fucking, you know
yeah.
what I mean? Which is cool because like at that age, as we know, the injuries are less, aren't they? Touch wood, you know what I mean? Kids don't get injured as much
No.
because they just shake it off. I think they go home and sleep and they come back the next day fresh again, right?
Yeah,
in a new
100%.
body. But
It's different, man.
it is
They're
very
really-
different, yeah. And it's also, I think, an element of that, obviously they recover better too because your kids, but also I wonder if there's like a mindset thing because to them, until a certain age, it's like a game, right? They don't really understand.
yeah,
They're not
yeah,
like
yeah.
me and you go to training, right?
Yeah.
Today we're going to spar.
It has to be a game, right?
Right.
You cannot teach like a 4 to 6 years old. Armbar from close guard. You know what I mean?
No.
With 5 different details, right?
Yeah.
No, they have. We try to approach like a game for them, and of course with that game bringing that jiu-jitsu characteristics like, oh, how can I score here? So to win this game, I need to pass the guard. Like, so you just show them, and sometimes you give them an information, try and let them to figure out how to escape from there. So it's very nice to see them like a few things are natural, right?
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure, definitely.
And they go from there but here at the gym we have a big number of kids that compete and they enjoy, have a lot of fun, and those who take more serious, they do like 3 sessions back to back, and we have a kid that she does private class with Nadine maybe 4 times a week.
I met her, she was here the other day, yeah.
And it's crazy because of her discipline. She's like, okay, when should I train? Oh, you're going to train this, and those days a week. And she's like, okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
Young girl that age
Young
too,
girl,
it's
man,
crazy,
yeah.
you know what I mean?
No, it's very good, very good. Like her mindset for training and discipline and worry about her jiu-jitsu, and it's very nice.
Yeah,
Yes,
it's funny because there was a young girl, like there's a lot of young kids, as I said, but I don't know if you know Nia Blackman.
Yes,
Yeah, because she was around like when she was at New School when I was like, white belt, blue belt, and she would have been, I don't know how old she is now, but she would have been sort of 12, I would imagine at the time. She was a kid, a little girl, and you could see like she was going to go on and be something special. Because some kids, there's another kid now who's training, and he's just,
Yeah.
There's something special about some kids, isn't it? Do you know what I mean?
You can see that few kids are natural, right?
Right.
Like they have like a really good understanding of their body, how they move. They're more conscious on how they move.
Yeah.
And it's kind of easier to teach.
Right.
Very teachable. Like just drop information, they get it, and they ask more things. More focused also. These kind of kids, they are naturally more focused, right? And it's very cool. Very cool.
And what is that, do you think? They're born with that? Is there something, they're born special?
Man, yeah.
Some kids are, they've got something, haven't they?
Some kids are born like that, like they don't distract very often, right? And they engage very well on the sport, right? Mm-hmm. You can see like professional NBA players, right? They're engaged playing basketball since they're like 5 years old, and they do tricks with the ball like since 5 years old. If you get those kids like the Rutolo, right?
Yeah,
if you see them like a yellow belt, you could see already that, wow, these kids are something different, right?
Yeah.
But and other kids, they are more like they need to put more effort, right? But as a kid, I think if you started doesn't matter if you are like a natural kid for this. If you are, lucky you, you're gonna go. Things gonna speed up for you, right? But if you are not, it's all a matter of time and dedication and you hours that you put on the mat. Every kid can learn how to move.
Yeah.
Like a proper professional, right?
Yeah.
It's just a time and patience and.
Yeah, because another thing with kids, and I think you're getting to it in sort of what you're saying, is also like kids get to sort of, can be 12, 15, whatever, and their bodies start to develop too.
Yeah.
And that makes a big difference, doesn't it? You
Oh,
see
yeah,
that, like,
yeah.
I've seen that with kids too, like kids that
Yeah.
are just a kid on the mat, they're just, you know, a nice kid, they do jiu-jitsu, but whatever, then suddenly they get 14, they got a beard and they got muscles,
Yeah,
and suddenly you go,
yeah.
Jesus Christ, like,
And
what the fuck?
you can see the transformation, right?
Yeah.
Like this kid was like with a frame of a kid just a few weeks ago, and now he's looking like a little wrestler.
Now
right?
he's got my
From
back,
the, yeah. Exactly. I have to shake him off, right? Yeah, and it's very fun because if you are like training with this kid, like let's say 5 years, you're gonna notice the difference, right? Of everything, technique, speed, power, mindset, especially. You can see how much they grow and mature, right? During these years, right? It's very fun, yes. I think when I started at Fightzone London, you were talking about Nia, right?
Yeah.
And she was, if I'm not wrong, she was a yellow belt.
Right.
Right.
Okay.
So I could see like the evolution a little bit, becoming a woman and now black belt, right?
Yeah, because she left New School, I think, to go over there, and she
Yeah,
was
yeah, I
like,
think
but
so,
she was
yeah,
like,
I
I
think
saw her
so.
from the ages of, as I said, like a kid, to suddenly like getting to the point where she was like a teenager, and you know where you go like, whoa, this a few years time she's gonna be like, well, what she is now. Do you know what I mean? And it was like, I didn't get to train with her on the mat, so she became like an adult sort of thing. Do you know what I mean? So I didn't get a chance to roll with her through this time, but it was like you could definitely clearly see like there's something special here.
That happened a lot, man. Yeah, like the other kid, Isa. I don't know if you know him. He's from Fightzone London also.
Oh, this
Monstro,
Monstro.
yeah.
Yeah.
The guy.
Yeah. I messaged him the other day, so if he sees this, hopefully we'll get him on the podcast. Yeah.
He's another example. Like when I started Fightzone London also, he was like a color belt. I can't remember what belt he was, but little guy, passionate of jiu-jitsu and spending hours and hours on the mat, you know. And nowadays he's like a purple belt, fighting Euros, adult division, and you're like, oh, whoa,
Animal.
I'm getting old.
Well, there's another kid as well. We keep talking about names, but Stefan BJJ. I don't know if you know Stefan.
No.
He was like that. He's a purple belt now, but when I say he's a purple belt, he's like that purple belt that's fucking everyone. Do you know what I mean? But he was like, again, I knew him from
the most hated at the gym, right?
Oh, well, I knew him since he was like 12, and he was a little boy, friendly, kind of giggly. You would have never thought he was special at the time, but like now he's as tall as me, but like fucking 20 kilos bigger probably. You know what I mean? Like heavy, he does the weights, he's into his training. He's like 18, might be 19 now.
Yeah.
But again, I say purple belt loosely because it's like, come on, bro. Someone give him a better belt for now.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
But he's like, he was like, you know, I've rolled with him recently, sort of flying. But the way he trains, and I'm giving him a shout out because I give him stick on here and I take the piss, but he's a great guy. But he knows I'm joking. But it's like he does things in a way, as I say, he's built like a tank and he's a real strong guy. But when he rolls, he doesn't roll like that. He flows around and he's like playful and he's just amazing. Like, because as I say, I've seen him from a kid, like a little boy, that you could, you know, just show something and he'd be happy with it.
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden,
tie them out with the belt, right?
Exactly, yeah. And he was all like smiley. As I say, not a kid that you'd have gone like, wow, that's a guy for the future. But now you watch him and you go, Jesus Christ, like something like he's dedicated. You know what I mean? Like trains 3 times a day, does the strength and conditioning, eats, sleeps, breathes jiu-jitsu. And you know, watch out for him in a few years. He'll be, you know, everyone know he is. Do you know what I mean? He's like that kid to see. But when we're talking about like competitions and big times, do you still want to compete? Have you still got that in you?
I still do, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm competing less now. Like when I started, I was trying to compete every weekend, right?
Oh, really?
Yeah,
He was that guy?
Yeah, I was that guy.
Yeah.
Like traveling all around Brazil, sometimes by myself, just with the gear and trying to compete. But yeah, last year I did like only 2 comps. one before the World's Nogi and the World's Nogi. And now this year I'm planning to do more.
Nice.
Yeah.
Are you a fan of jiu-jitsu as well, like watching it?
Yeah.
You are, because it's funny, I keep repeating myself on here about this too. Like a lot of people that I talk to about different fighting and whatever, you ask them about so-and-so fighting and this, and they're like, I've got no idea what you're talking about, I don't watch it. I just enjoy training, do you know what I mean? But you're into it too.
I watch it, but my wife watch more than me.
Really? Yeah, she's into it.
Yeah, she's really into it. And then at the end I end up watching also.
That's got to help, right?
I used to watch more fights, yeah. When I started, I was like crazy on fights, and I used to have DVDs with techniques.
Now you're showing your age.
I mean? Yeah. Now I'm showing
the young kids are going, what's a DVD?
What's a fucking DVD? and yeah, studying techniques like at home. Grace Mags, right?
Right, is
trying
that
to check there, yeah. But now with the internet, everything's so much easier to have like access of a library of fights, right?
Yeah, oh for sure. Are you one of them that can watch like long instructionals and take it in?
No, I hate it.
Because I do. I'm exactly the same. If you show me a 15 or 10-second clip,
man.
I'll watch that and I take that better.
I tried to watch a couple of times, but at the end I'm sleeping.
You forget you miss
exactly,
it. Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, what the fuck, what I missed here? I have tried to go.
Yeah.
But no, I rather to watch fights.
Right. Okay.
Because then I can see what is happening, what people are doing, right? And you're gonna see things apply actually in action, right? Back in the days, you used to have that instructional where people were trying to share a technique, but with a dummy. Right? No. Let's say the other person working like a dummy, right? I'm gonna do this and that, but never happens like that. No. Always reaction. So I rather to spend time watching comps and try to figure out what people is doing. Oh, this is very interesting. You break down the technique. And
it makes sense, doesn't it? Do you know the one that gets me the most? You know when you turn on an instructional and they go, "Hi guys, so today," it's like, you lost me. I don't need to see you talk. Just fucking show me something. You know?
Just go straight to the point, right?
Exactly. None of this, "Hi guys." We were on. But you watch MMA as well? Because obviously you had two MMA fights.
I do watch, yeah.
So what's the thinking with MMA? You had 2 fights and you stopped, or?
I had 2 fights and then I moved to Spain.
Oh, and that was it?
Yeah,
no more?
That was it.
Yeah. You still want to fight MMA or no? Is that gone?
Yeah, sometimes I'm like, I think I should try another one, right? Well, I don't know.
What weight did you do MMA?
70?
Yeah, lightweight,
How much is that in pound?
155. Yeah, 155. I think it's 70.5 is like 155. I think 70 is 154. I think is
something like that. Yeah, I'm very bad with pounds.
Yeah. But it's like 2.2. Someone
do the
conversion for us. Yeah, but you obviously enjoyed MMA. And
I had a lot of fun, man. Yeah, it was very fun.
Yeah, and what brought you to Spain?
Fightzone.
Yeah, it was that simple. This opened and you came out to be the man.
Yeah. Fightzone London bring me to Fightzone Costa Blanca. Yeah. Basically, when they had the idea, they decided, we're opening the gym in Spain. They asked me and Niles if we were like keen to come to Spain and start the business with them, and they're like, we're super happy.
It's a bit nicer here than London, though, the weather and shit.
It's a good weather, though, yeah?
Well, exactly. I think when I left England the other day to come here, it was like 2 degrees, like freezing cold, you know what I mean? Like,
this is our winter. So
yeah, exactly.
You can
this
see
is summer. I mean, look at me. Come on,
man.
I dress like this in England, to be fair. Do you know what I mean? I'm one of them guys. I'm
not this kind of guy. No, I was like, the jacket and...
I was on the beach yesterday, stripped off in my swim shorts, the whole deal. I was the only person there, and like people walking past looking at me like I was a bit crazy. But
British.
Listen, hey, I was enjoying myself, talking to myself, the whole deal. So if you was on Benidorm Beach, I was that crazy guy. But like with MMA now, obviously there's a lot of MMA. It's easy to see, is what I'm trying to say. Like back in the day, it was a bit more difficult. Like where the fights was in America, I know you could stream it and you could do it legally and stuff. But like now it's on TV all the time. Is it the same in Spain, or is it not so easy?
No. But it's easier now. Still easy, right? You can download an app and pay. You can watch and everything. YouTube nowadays, you can find few fights, right? But just the shit parts of fight, right? Because But MMA is very popular now, right?
Right, big time. Yeah,
big time.
And there's a Spanish champion as well, right?
In Spain also because of Tupuria.
Yeah.
And let's see. We used to have MMA here, a few classes, but no, just for the kids now.
Really? How
Yeah.
come? Just not popular enough.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
not popular enough, and I don't know. Most of the times, when people show up to train MMA, they show up like, I want to do UFC, right? I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, no, MMA. Okay, do you have experience? Yeah, I train CrossFit. So go for boxing classes, Muay Thai classes, join Jiu-Jitsu. After 6 months, maybe 1 year, you can have a try. But yeah, it's very, things changed, right? In MMA, it's so quick because when MMA started, basically was a discipline against the other, right?
Right.
Like Jiu-Jitsu against boxing or something like that.
Yeah.
But nowadays, it is a mixed martial arts. So if you don't have dominion of your area, or at least one area on MMA, you're fucked.
Yeah, I
Like,
think so.
You can't be only a striker nowadays. You need to at least be able to move back up if somebody takes you down, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And otherwise, the other side also, you cannot be only a grappler nowadays.
You saw recently with Colonhese, right? Did you see his fight?
Man, yeah.
It was bad, man. Like, because obviously he's at a massive level of jiu-jitsu.
I don't waste my time.
No, but it was tough to watch. I was looking at it,
just
man.
like, when I saw that, I was like, oh, he's fighting this weekend. I'm gonna read the comments tomorrow.
Yeah. But it seems like he's gone backwards. Do you know what I mean? Like, he seemed like he was more of an MMA fighter before, and now it's almost like he's being stubborn with jiu-jitsu. You know what I mean? He just wants to do jiu-jitsu. He did like it wasn't even a good guard pull, was it? It was like a weird fucking situation.
Yeah, man. It's like how can you pull guard in MMA?
No, not like that anyway.
No,
when the guy's standing, fucking hell, you know.
Maybe in the 90s.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
But nowadays, no, and I think it's very hard to play guard in MMA, isn't it?
You have to be intelligent, right?
Yeah,
like
yeah.
you have to, like, what's his name? He didn't really play guard. He went for leg locks. But Husamar Pohares.
Oh yeah,
he
that's
used to
a
sort
killer.
of, but he used to throw like a shitty takedown, right? Like not looking for the takedown, just to make you defend, and he'd pull a guard off of it, which it works, right? Because he's intelligent and like, but. Even he got pounded out a few times, didn't he? He got beat up a few times, but like the way Chrome was doing it was just like bizarre, wasn't it? It was like he was watching it like, bro, what are you thinking here? Do you know what I mean? How did you see this going?
No, I didn't.
No, but he was like, I wouldn't say a fan of Crone. I didn't know an awful lot about him. But when he came into the UFC and he won his first fight, I was excited because it's a Gracie, right? It's like old school. Yeah. It's like this could be exciting watching him do this thing. But he put out a video, and I'm not shitting on him by any means, but he put out a video probably 3 years ago now, and he was hitting the bag in the gym, and I was looking at it going like, it must be joking. Like, it must be like a troll video. Do you know what I mean? Because it was so bad.
Yeah.
You're like, there's no way, even if he'd trained for 2 weeks, he'd be that bad. Do you know what I mean? But it was like, I couldn't work out what was happening. But then he got in there and like he got beat, and it was just very strange.
Now I got it.
Yeah, exactly. It's very strange. But he's, I think it's a shame because I think with that level of jiu-jitsu, you've only got, like you said, if you've got a base in something so strong, you've only got to tidy up little bits and pieces and get people to your area.
Oh yeah,
he could have been like strangling everybody.
But. Oh yeah. I mean, if you have a jiu-jitsu on his level, right? And I think you should be doing more striking.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Because it's not your thing. So.
Right. And no one's gonna. I mean, you can't say no one, but it's very rare anyone's gonna be as good as him at jiu-jitsu anyway.
Yeah.
So like once you get there, you're home, isn't it?
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
People will not take him down.
No. They don't want to take him down.
Yeah.
Exactly.
They want to beat the shit out of him. So. Okay, let's go for. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
But I mean, I mean, it's even if he's working on not getting hit to get the clinch to whatever, but the way he was doing it, and like it was just very strange to me. It was almost like pulling guard from too far, wasn't he? Like amateur style, and it was like, what the fuck, bro? Anyway, who am I to criticize Colnhese's jiu-jitsu? But when you say about that, I've said this before on here with like styles. You know where people sort of nowadays are starting in MMA. You tell me what you think. I think it's a bit of a mistake in terms of trying to be just an MMA fighter from the off. Not that it's a mistake in terms of the whole game. Of course, you want the whole game if you want to go into it, but I think it's important to have a base in something. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, everybody has, right?
Yeah, exactly. Because like Khabib obviously is one
Yeah.
extreme, and then you've got Alex Pereira is the other extreme
Yeah,
with the
yeah.
striking. I mean, apparently he's a black belt in Jiu-Jitsu as well, but we
Yeah.
don't see it, right?
Yeah.
So he's a striker essentially.
Yeah.
But to me, it doesn't seem like it matters too much what your background is, as long as you kind of plug the holes on the other things. Do you know what I mean? And
Yeah,
able to
yeah.
get people to your area.
Yeah, exactly.
Does that make sense? Yeah.
Makes sense. Yeah, I think that is like those who achieve a high level in the sport, they do come from a background, right?
Right.
Or wrestling or Muay Thai or kickboxing, I don't know. And then things get like a complementing, right, with the rest of the disciplines, I think. But yeah, I don't know people that started like just coming from the streets and
Coming from the streets.
want to do some MMA and
Yeah.
become a star, right?
Right. Well, that's the one I thought about it earlier when you said like guys turn up to MMA class and they're like, I want to train UFC, bro. And
Yeah, but then they train like they had two sessions. And oh no, it's too tough.
I need 2 weeks off.
Yeah, I need 2 weeks off. Yeah, and like, come on, man.
Well, I've said it before with people. Have you trained before? And they go, no, I've never had any fights, but I've had loads of street fights, bro. I'm ready.
Oh shit,
Yeah,
that's
bro,
the
come on.
worst, man. Or sometimes they're like, oh, have you done jiu-jitsu before? I'm like, as I said to you, no, man, just only CrossFit. I'm like, I'm sorry, but CrossFit is not a fight, right? Man?
What the
Okay, so you've never done nothing, right?
Never done anything, yeah. Just really fit. You
Yeah.
can do loads of burpees.
Shrimp.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, I did sessions before with a guy who did CrossFit actually, it's privates, and he was like, obviously, he was quite a good level. I won't say who he is for obvious, but he was quite a good level of CrossFit, and I'd done some privates with him. And like, if you watch his videos I saw, and he was like CrossFit fit, like heart rate fucking low and stuff. But when you start rolling, he was still tired in like 30 seconds.
Oh, yeah,
because it's
man.
not efficient. Do you know
Yeah,
what I mean?
it's a different. It's different. Yesterday I was talking this with the guys upstairs in after class. Man, it's very hard to train for jiu-jitsu cardio, right? Because at the same time that you're like in a light run, let's say, rhythm, right? And your heart rate is gonna be on that stage. Sometimes you're gonna be pushing weight, right? So you're gonna be scrambling, right? And you have to have the gas tank for that. So I think, in my opinion, the only way to improve your gas tank for jiu-jitsu is jiu-jitsu, right?
I think so, yeah. I believe that.
I mean, a light run can help you on that recovering be in between rounds, right? Or in recovering after a period where you need to be more explosive. You're gonna recover fast, but nothing better than rounds.
I think so.
To
I agree.
improve your jiu-jitsu cardio, right?
Yeah.
Weightlifting is very important. I don't think you can be a jiu-jitsu athlete nowadays without doing some weights, right?
Yeah, I think you got to look after your body, ain't you?
Oh,
Do you know what
yeah,
I mean?
yeah.
I think that's more what it's for, because the mistake we've all made, I'm sure, I definitely have, is you train jiu-jitsu, you also train like a bodybuilder, you also train like a CrossFit athlete, and you're just doing too much, and that's where injuries come in the other way. Do you know what I mean? Because you start getting the fucking elbow pain.
Yep.
Whereas nowadays, I try and just I'll go and do like a gymnastic style training with like pull-ups, dips, handstands, stuff like that. But I try and leave a bit. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't push it. I'll go that's enough today. Do you know what I mean? To look after it.
I do understand you. Yeah, I try to have almost the same approach, but I try to build my program for weeks, and 1-2 weeks on this, let's say 8 weeks program. I'm gonna go very hard.
Right. Okay.
And then I can. But also, if I go this hard this week, I'm gonna go hard on weight. I will not go hard on jiu-jitsu. You know what I mean? I'm gonna go very light in jiu-jitsu, trying to use the jiu-jitsu more as a recovery session, train with lighter weights, or train with white belts, going very smooth. And if I go crazy in jiu-jitsu, probably gonna go light on my weights. But depending on the phase, or if I'm close to a competition. Sometimes if I'm close to a comp, I'm gonna drop to two times a week weightlifting. Right. And I'm gonna add more sprints, let's say, 2 trains of sprints in the week just to help me with that light cardio. And yeah, try to avoid overtraining, right? That's very hard.
It's hard to do, isn't it? Because it's, even like we're sitting in now and we can make the best plan in the world. You know what it's like, right? If you're on the mat and someone says to you, "One more round."
Yeah. That can be the round, right?
That's the downfall, isn't it? That's where you always get an
yeah.
injury, where everything always starts to fall apart on you. Like honestly, the amount of times I've thought that's enough today, and someone goes, "Ollie, come one more round," and you go, "All right then," and then you fucking hurt something, and like you're driving home, like, "Fucking, I didn't need that." I like, why? You know what I mean? Why did I do that? But like, just touching on it before I forget? What type of weightlifting do you do? Do you do sort of your standard like body splits, or how do you work it?
I do body splits sometimes, but for example now, I'm doing 3 times a week full body.
Okay.
So I try to split like this, and every session I do 1 or 2 exercises of legs exercise. Basic things, right? Everything that's gonna be related to our sport, like squat is a classic. You need to, right? I like to walk, walking lunges also. Bent over row, pull-ups with an extra weight on your waist, right? Military press, everything that the Soviet Union used to use. Right. Back in the days.
Yeah.
Because that's what we need, right? Basically, like free weights. I'm very onto free weights because it works a lot of your body conscious, right? To control the weight, control your body and your technique, how you're gonna execute that is very important. Yeah. So I really like it. And I try to work around like a 70-80% of 1 rep max. This range. If I get close to a comp, I'm gonna drop and I'm gonna go a little bit higher on reps and explosive and everything. But yeah, pretty much like this.
Yeah, basics just done well. Yeah, I think that's the way because you can overcomplicate that too, don't you? You see all these people doing the cable twists and all this kind of shit.
Oh man.
Yeah, I know. Tell me. Yeah, tell me about it. Yeah, that drives me crazy.
I'm like, so shit to see this kind of things, isn't it? Because you will not apply that in a maybe for a rehab.
Yeah, for something specific.
Yeah,
maybe.
like I don't know, a hip problem where you need to work your rotation, or you have a shit rib that you need to be moving slightly, and I don't know, but
yeah.
I think for us it's very important to have that pure strength. Right, and have the reps in reserve to push somebody out of your side, or frame somebody with your legs and support the pressure, right, and prevent injuries, right. If you have like a nice amount of muscle around your joints, you prevent your injuries sometimes, right?
Of course,
it will not fuck you up, right?
No, I think I like what you said about the full body too. I believe in that. I believe the full body stuff. Do you know what I mean? I think, you know, you see people doing like the bicep curls and stuff. It's got a place, I think. I do sometimes.
It's got a place, yes.
At the end, again, like you said, to look after the joints and stuff, right?
Exactly, yeah. I try to work this kind of arms exercise. Of course, it's nice to get that pump, right? Yeah. You feel good. You feel good, right? At the end, like,
when you're that weirdo on the beach and you're the only one on the beach, son.
That's good. But for us, we're not bodybuilders, right? So we cannot waste our time like this biceps 2 centimeters more than this one. So I go for biceps curl. Sometimes I like to do skull crusher, but with thinking on my tendinitis, for example.
Right.
I don't want to have my weak elbows.
No.
Where I'm gonna get fucked. So
you don't want to get injured in the gym either, right? Doing weightlifting. Fuck
and
that.
I don't need to do like 10 reps, 10 sets.
No.
You know what I mean? Because if you're doing rowings and pull-ups and everything, you're working your biceps already.
You are.
In a way, right?
Yeah.
And if you go like a specific, like we're talking about bodybuilding, then we are diverging of our topic, right? Jiu-Jitsu and everything.
Of course, yeah. It's unnecessary, isn't it? And like that's definitely when I feel like when I've done periods of that kind of stuff. That's when you get little injuries on the mat, not bad ones, but like you'll leave and like you said, elbows doesn't feel good today.
Yeah.
I'm tight here. I didn't need to do that because I'm in the gym like a fucking CrossFit athlete going crazy.
Yeah,
Do you know what I
yeah.
mean? And I think as you get, I'm avoiding the word older. I don't want to say older, but like
Massive.
yeah. When you sort of you've experienced it, right? You
Yeah.
know what that's gonna do. You're not just killing your body. It's like, not that I'm preaching, but it's like it's important, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? Like I train now when I go to the gym to make this work better for when I'm on the mat. So when I'm on the mat, I don't have to worry so much. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
because
yeah.
that's not the time to be thinking, is it? Do you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
we've all been there where we've got a little injury and you're underneath someone, you're trying to go, but you're going, I don't know if I want to do that because I might pull anything. Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like,
yeah,
which obviously you know more than me. When you're sparring, you just want to fucking spar, right? You don't want to be worried about my body.
Yeah. It's very hard to spar well if you're like, let's say I'm protecting my foot.
Right.
Because I'm fucked. So but at the same time, if you have an injury and you're trying to still like training, you're gonna have to adapt.
Right, because there's always going to be something anyway. If you're in this game,
right?
it's always going to be something.
You're never gonna be like fresh as new.
Don't
right?
say that, bro.
No,
you kill me.
man,
You break my heart.
Sometimes I'm like I need to get up.
Yeah.
Fuck, and I need 5 steps to stay straight.
I wait till people are looking away till
and
I get
I'm
up.
like, shit, I'm 33, man. Imagine when I'm 60, I'm gonna get my sticks.
Yeah.
But yeah, Jiu-Jitsu is very tough on your body, right?
But it depends how you do it, right?
Depending how you do
because
it.
for you, like if you're 40 years old and you work in an office and you train 2-3 times a week, you can be okay, right? You can be fine. But for someone like you,
100%.
it's different because you're pushing it. And like when you go training, if me and you go today and we're like, there's a room full of people and we're both feeling good in this training, we're going to touch hands and we're going to train, right?
Yeah.
It's different.
Yeah. I mean, if you're training for, okay, I like Jiu-Jitsu, I want to do Jiu-Jitsu the rest of my life, and I work I have an office job, and I need to be okay, right? You can do it. It's totally doable,
Yeah.
right? But if you are talking about high level athletes, most of the times we're not talking about health, right?
No, it goes beyond that, doesn't it?
Yeah,
It goes past that.
athletes want to push themselves beyond that, right? Okay, I'm lifting 100 kilos today. Tomorrow I wanna go 110.
Yeah,
right? They don't think about consequence. They wanna push. They wanna go. I wanna improve my VO2 max. I wanna go crazy here, and fuck it, right? And that's what they need, right? If you get like an Olympic judo athlete, they're whole fucked.
He's not thinking about when he's 60.
Man.
He wants
like
that gold.
Yeah, exactly. Fuck it.
Yeah.
I want the gold. And there's another thing. So you have to have that kind of mind. You have to be hungry. They don't have social life. They don't have nothing like that, right? They don't have to worry about office tomorrow or an interview or something like that.
No.
They just go.
Well, there's also, I don't know if you know who Dorian Yates is. He was a bodybuilder.
Yes, I know
bodybuilder.
him.
You know
Yeah.
him, right?
Big
He said
fan.
it, yeah, and he's into all kinds of stuff now, right, with the mind and whatever. But he spoke about, and if I'm butchering the story, someone help me. He said something about like there was a study with like Olympic level athletes that was like in their 20s or whatever, and they was told like if you could take a pill that would guarantee you a gold, 100%, but you'll die when you're 50.
They will take it. Yeah.
They all took it, right? And that's the mindset, isn't it? Like, they're not worried about their knee. So, you know what I mean? They'll take limping home. They'll take being fucked up.
Yeah, man. I can't remember the name of the guy, but he's a wrestler. And he was in Joe Rogan talking about his neck injury. And he basically, in Olympic trials, he fucked up his disc on the neck.
Oh, Kurt Angle, you mean?
Yeah, I think yes.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
yeah. And he
Gold medalist, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
gold
yeah.
medalist. And nowadays he's like a whole fucked on his chest muscle because of the neck and everything. His neck fuses, right? So limited, but he's gold. I'm gonna ask him if he would like a change. Would you give your gold back and get a fresh neck? No.
No.
So this kind of athletes, they're like
Yeah.
up there, right? They don't care about themselves. Let's say
No,
like
and
they
that's it.
wanna
And you take
results.
that. Yeah.
Results.
That's it.
But you can train jiu-jitsu if as a hobbyist and
No, if you're a normal guy and you work in an office, you can't train with that mindset, can
No.
you? Because, you know, it's okay, as you said, like Kurt Angle sitting there with his neck all fucked up, and he's a gold medalist forever. If you're that guy, but you still got to go work on Monday and you're in the office, you can't make that choice, can you? It's not fun.
No, and as a coach, you have to understand this and work around this area. You know what I mean?
Do you find that tough with training people? Like, because obviously you've got a mindset of like when you train, it's like I'm training, but like the people that come in, they're not all like that. Is that hard for you? Or is
You learn, right?
Right.
You learn how to deal with that. Like, it is much easier if you have like let's say a class on your timetable where it's like only 4 competitors.
Right, of course, right.
There's it will be the easiest class on your schedule, I think, for the coach.
Yeah.
Because you're gonna have to do some technical adjustments with them, yes, but we will not waste your time on that. You're gonna waste your time on push them, right?
Yeah.
On that session. But when you have like a normal timetable, and that kid, 20 years old, blue belt, full of testosterone, right? Join the class, and he's like, I'll have a competition this Saturday, and you have the 45 years old taxi driver that he's just there to enjoy his hour of the day and leave. So you learn how to adapt your class and try to satisfy both of them. Let's say you're gonna put the kid in the middle, and 20 minutes straight you're gonna stay. All of the other guys gonna go and do specific with you, so everybody's happy.
Right.
The taxi driver have his session. He's resting. He goes again, and the other one, they wanna go home dead. He's gonna have that taste also, right? You can work around. Yes.
Yeah. But with training and stuff, like, do you have to hold people back? Like you said, like the 20-year-old blue belt, that's a candidate for someone who's going to just do too much, right? And they're going to wear themselves into the ground. Are you aware of that too, or do you just let that play out for now?
What do you mean?
Do you know, if you've got a kid who's, like you said, 20 and they're full of testosterone and they compete all the time, they train 6, you just let them go. Yeah. You don't hold them back. You don't try to advise them yet. No. Just let it go.
If they ask for advice, like, oh, I'm feeling sore here, or I'm feeling this, what should I do? I will give my opinion, like, rest.
Yeah.
Right?
Just sleep. Yeah.
Just sleep. Go home, eat.
Yeah.
Try to have some calories and I don't know, Netflix.
Yeah.
For today.
Netflix and chill. Yeah. But do you think there's a benefit to sometimes just going? All the recovery and all that's great, but sometimes when you're young, you just got to fucking smash it.
Yeah.
There's a benefit to that, I think, because I think so. Because like this day and age, you know what it's like. You listen to everything on social media, and it's like, oh, train smarter, not harder. And of course, you train smarter, and you try and avoid the injuries and whatever. But I do believe there's a time to just go. Right?
I think you need to train smart and harder.
Yeah,
How can I
for
say,
sure.
like hard and smart?
Yeah.
What's the best way to say
exactly,
that? But let's say, when we're talking about do 3 sessions a day, okay, it is doable, but you cannot be naive and think that your last session you're going to be performing as the first one. Right? If you have time, and if you're keen to do that, do it. But how can we smart this up? We're going to go, your first session is the one that you're fresh, right? So it's the one that you're gonna push harder.
Yep.
You're gonna go for, I don't know, 10 rounds of 6 or something like that, right? Second session can be something in between, right? Maybe intense and short session, or maybe a recovering session just to move, right? And we are not talking about like 3 classes of sparring, right? One follow the other. Otherwise, we're gonna be talking in 3 hours sparring today, right? So I think if you split that, I'm gonna go hard here, I'm gonna have a break, and I'm gonna go lifting. And when I go back to the gym at night, I'm gonna do more positional, technical study, right? Mm-hmm. Perfect. Mm-hmm. Okay, we are approaching a comp. We're gonna go a little bit harder in these 2 first sessions. And the third session of the day is gonna be like a recovery. Mm-hmm. And then we are training hard and smart at the same time. But if the kid's like, I don't know, 16 years old and they're like looking like dogs, right? I wanna play, I wanna go, let's go. Just go, man. Have fun and
enjoy your youth.
Enjoy your youth, isn't it? Exactly.
Yeah, because it's tough enough, like you say, with jiu-jitsu, when you're doing not the same thing, but the same sport every time, right? You work on different elements, of course, but like when you've got a sport like MMA, for example, there's so many different things. Like you've almost got to train 2 or 3 times a day.
You need to.
Do you know what I mean?
You need to, yes. You cannot be like a MMA guy training 1 session a day.
No, you're not going to get very far,
No, because you have like there's loads of things behind, right?
Right.
Like you have to train your technical striking, and you have to sparring striking, right? You have to train your wrestling, and you have to spar wrestling, jiu-jitsu, and a part of that you have your weight lifting, right?
Yeah. But that, I think that's even more like what you're saying has to come into play, right? You have to really plan your sessions. So if you think, just off the top of my head, if me and you, we're getting ready for an MMA fight, we're going to train together all camp, blah, blah, blah. In the morning, we grapple hard. We're going to go like crazy and we're going to do our hard session. That night, we might do a technical spar with the striking, right?
Yeah.
But you've got to still do it. You've got to still do it because you can't.
Got to.
Do you know what I mean?
You got to have no other option.
Yeah. And sorry, the reason I brought it up originally in my mind, I forgot, was like with MMA, there's more with the impact and the kicks to the leg and the ribs and the face. The injuries are sort of accumulate more, right? Of course, in jiu-jitsu we can twist the knee and you know you've got a bad injury, but I find more like with the striking stuff I've done, you get more like the impact injuries that creep up on you. You know, you've been kicked in the leg and you're okay, but then 2 days later you're like, I don't know if I'm okay. Do you know what I mean? The managing it's a beast, isn't it? Do you know what I mean?
Yes, it is, man. Yes, the range of injuries are more broad than our jiu-jitsu one.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's tough on recovery also, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Because the learning side of things as well. I mean, I know certain guys I spoke to before, they do a lot less training when they're actually in a camp for a fight. Now, the training's obviously more intense, but like out of camp, they'll train 2 times a day, like playful. Do you know what I mean? They'll go and do a fun jiu-jitsu session in the morning. And I'm not putting words in their mouth. I'm not mentioning names or anything. Like they'll do like a fun grappling session in the morning to learn. Like they'll work with someone like yourself who's at a really high level and try and pick things up. Then they'll go and like play spar in the evening, striking, vice versa, whatever. And when they've got camp is when they'll more like hone in. Sometimes they'll train once a day, sometimes twice a day, but it's fight training.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah, exactly. Yeah. I did this for the world's no-gi, for example. As I said to you, like having 3 times a week, I had these 4 or 5 guys with me here at the gym, and that was my sessions. Yeah. 3 times a week, and then I was doing weights every day, weightlifting every day. And for the world's no-gi, that was enough for me.
Right.
Like 8 weeks, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 11:30 to 12:30. Smash and weightlifting in the morning.
Right, before, yeah. Yeah, so you're already feeling it a little bit when you
I was a bit tired, yeah.
Yeah, because there's something to that as well with the intensity, right? Like you said, an hour session doesn't sound like a lot, but if you're pushing, that's hard, isn't it, on the body? And so I think you've got to go to that intensity as well.
It's an hour, exactly this, yeah. It's an hour session, but for example, the way that I was dividing, I was fighting 6 minutes round. So I had like 3 guys with me. So I would try to emulate the comp, right? So if I have 6 minutes round, in a comp I'm gonna have 6 minutes rest in between one fight and the other, right? So what I was doing, I was like every 2 minutes I have a fresh guy entering, so in this way, even though I was getting tired, my opponent was fresh, so the intensity of the sparring was very high for me. So let's say if we're talking about an hour session, if I have 6 rounds of 6, that will be a very good number also. So I'm like, all right. With that intensity of 2 minutes switching, that was good for 1 hour. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You have to use that 1 hour very well.
Right. Yeah. Well, George St. Pierre spoke about that as well. I don't know if you've ever heard him speak about it. Like when he was champion, he was fighting 5-5-minute rounds.
Who?
George St. Pierre,
Yeah,
GSP, right? So when he was fighting for UFC belts, he was fighting 5-5-minute rounds. And again, if I'm butchering this, someone help me. But from what I understand, when he said, they asked him how he trained, he said, like, you know, you all might be cooled down. I'm in the gym longer, etc. But when I'm training, 25 minutes, 5-5-minute rounds, because he wanted to know how hard he could push for them rounds. Man. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I think there's, because you hear a lot with MMA fighters, you know, they're fighting 3 5-minute rounds, and they're sparring 10 rounds. I go, well, I understand to a degree, but at the same time, the intensity you're bringing for 10 rounds is nowhere near what you can do for free.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean? You have to go free.
Yeah.
So let's work on free.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what I mean. Yes, exactly this. Is the intensity is very important. Because if you don't use the intensity, you're going to be only training harder.
There you go.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%.
But if you're trying to do as specific as you can, and like nowadays it's very easy to, in Jiu-Jitsu and every sport, I think, combat sports, you can study your opponent, right? So then you're gonna also bring that to your session.
Yeah.
So, okay, guys, my opponent, my first, this guy probably is gonna be on my bracket. He does this, and that. So, you guys go towards this, and I'm gonna try the six rounds that I have here. I'm gonna try to break this down.
Right.
And yeah, man, that's enough, right? Because, for example, I had a very full bracket, and I stopped in the semifinal. I had 4 fights.
Wow. Okay.
So I was training, emulating close what I was supposed to have, right? Like 5 rounds, 6 rounds, and that's it.
Yeah.
And it's good because, man, after 1 hour, if you do it well, you're gonna feel results, right?
Yeah. Oh fuck yeah! An hour's a long time.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
An hour's a long time. Hold your breath for an hour. See how well you do.
Oh,
You know what I mean? It's a long time, isn't it? You know what I mean? But like one thing I've spoke to a few people on here about as well is like rule sets in jiu-jitsu. Do you know what I mean? Like certain people have favorites. Some people don't give a fuck. They just want to roll. Would you like best? Have you got a preference or not so much?
No, I don't.
No, don't care.
No, I don't care.
Yeah.
But if you're training for well, depending, if I'm training, I'm gonna go for the rule set that I'm fighting. No?
Right. Yeah. Common sense. Right?
Common sense, yes. But to watch, I prefer 80cc rules for nogi.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
80cc rules, because obviously the thing that came up this year was the CJI, right? What do you think of that?
Oh, it's fun. Was nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Was very nice matches, and was very exciting also to see that new format, right? With the pinch, everything.
Yeah, it's fun. Yeah.
Yeah. 3 5 minutes round.
I think it's 3 5. Yeah, like I remember.
Yeah, it's different.
Yeah, it's different, isn't it?
Yeah. Something that you need to watch more to.
Yeah, I mean, it's like you said.
You
have to train for what you're doing, right? But I quite like, and I've said this, I'm like probably boring people here with this, but like I was at a competition called Entity in London, and it was mostly white and blue belts, which I don't say that in like negative way. I say it because they're not so efficient yet with their jiu-jitsu, so they're going hard, right? And it was like 5 minutes.
White and blue belts.
White and blue belts.
Oh yeah, they're wild, man.
They're going hard, and it was like 5-minute rounds, and no points, no nothing at the end. If there's no sub, referee's decision. Okay. And it was the most exciting competition I've ever been at in my life.
So submission only.
Submission only, and these guys go because it's 5 minutes.
Oh yeah.
Bang, go, and there was a lot of submissions, but the ones that didn't, the ref just gave the decision. There was no like he passed guard this way, he did this, none of that. It was just aggressive. Like I watched it. I think he won.
Okay.
And it was good. Now I know there's problems with that too, right? But it was fun, and there was a couple of matches that were really close. But I think probably 95% of the matches that we watched, everyone agreed anyway. You know, there's a couple that people went, I thought he won, but it was whatever. But some of them were like, the ref was like, you could see the ref gives his decision, he's like, you.
Yep.
But it was close. But it was the point. I mean, it was exciting. Do you know what I mean?
What's the name of the competition?
Entity.
Entity.
Yeah, Entity. It was really fun. It was at a gym called Apex in London.
Oh, gotcha,
and it was just fun, man. Because I was there, and my friend, the Ronin, shout out to Ronin. It was his competition, and he said to come that. Like I was commentating on it, and it wasn't that serious. I was a bit like this, just fucking around.
That's how it started, right?
Yeah, saying some funny stuff and whatever. And it was. He said to me, like, when he got there, I can't remember, it was like I was going to be there for like 6 hours or whatever. And I thought, fuck, I've got to sit here for watch these for 6 hours. But it was I could have stayed there all day. It was great because it was exciting.
It passed very quick.
It passed really quick. Like, they gave us breaks. They had like 2 commentary teams, I think, and they was like switching us out. And like when it was our turn to switch out, I was like, no, I'm good. Leave it. Do you know what I mean? It was fun to do. So like, I quite like the short matches, the sub onlys.
That's good. Yeah,
it's fun to watch, isn't it? Do you know what I mean?
I can imagine the man, white belts and blue belts going crazy.
And there was some big guys too. There was some like super heavyweight, like 120, 130 kilo matches too.
Cool.
And they was like going.
The real absolute, man.
Yeah, like proper absolute. Like they would have had to chop a leg off to be a fucking anything.
To be in ultra heavy.
Yeah, exactly. They couldn't have made that to save their life, and it was good. But before we wrap up, mate, I want to talk a bit about MMA. I like watching MMA because you said you're a fan, right? Now, I'm a big fan of, you mentioned him earlier, Ilia Topuria. I love watching him fight, and obviously I know you're not Spanish, but we're in Spain, so like I'm assuming you give him a bit of support, yeah?
Oh man, yeah, it's very exciting to watch his fight, right?
Yeah.
Very nice fighter. From top to bottom, right?
Yeah.
Fights well, standing, good ground game, and yeah, man, he's bringing this MMA alive in Spain, right?
Has he been here by any chance?
No.
Not yet.
No,
let's get him here. Ilya, let's get over to Fightzone, son.
Let's go, man.
Let's get to Fightzone.
You're always welcome here.
Bring your belt so we can have pictures.
He used to train in Alicante, right?
That's what I thought. Yeah, I'd heard him say Alicante. Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know if he's still training there or if he moved to Madrid.
He's got that champion money now, man. Son. He can do what he wants.
Yeah.
He can do what he wants.
He can train everywhere now.
He can train on the moon if he wants. Yeah.
But yeah, and the Spanish people is very on to him, supporting him.
Really, that's cool.
Yeah, it's very cool.
Because he's not Spanish, is he? He lives in Spain, but I think he was born in Germany of Georgian descent.
Yeah. Crazy mix. No?
Yeah.
But yeah, he lives here for since he was a kid or something like that.
Oh, is it? Yeah, okay.
8, 11.
Is it? Okay, yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
I might be wrong also. But yeah, it's very fun to see. After he won the belt, lots of kids arriving with their Topuria shirt. You know what I mean? Going to boxing, going crazy, and jiu-jitsu, training well.
Well, there's a kid today in your class. I don't know if it was an Ilya shirt, but he had a UFC shirt on. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know.
There was a kid.
Probably was.
It was probably a
Topuria shirt. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's like obviously like the other one is the heavyweight. I keep asking this to people too, but like the heavyweight is a bit of a mix at the moment, right? Because of the John Jones situation, we don't know what's going on. Is he going to fight Aspinall? He wants to fight Pereira.
Who is the heavyweight we were talking about?
John Jones.
Oh, yeah.
John Jones, heavyweight champ.
Oh man, he and Pereira would be nice to watch, isn't it?
I think so. I like that fight, man.
That would be.
I like that fight
man.
because obviously the favourite's going to be John Jones, I would imagine, right?
Yeah.
And every time you see him fight, it's almost like you go, oh yeah, I remember. Sorry,
yes.
I doubted you. I remember.
Exactly.
But Pereira's special, man. Like that left hook, the way he is.
Man, he's different, right? He's built different.
Mate.
Looks like he made of steel.
Yeah, and he's big too. You seen the pictures of him next to like Tyson Fury?
Yeah, man.
Like, he's a big boy, man. You know what I mean? I want to see the fight happen because...
What's the name of the... he's British, right?
Tom Aspinall.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got the interim
belt. He's in line, right?
Yeah, so he's got the interim belt, right? But so he's the one they're pushing, but John Jones says he wants to fight Pereira. I want to see him fight both, so fuck it. But I don't know if he'll be around long enough. He's talking about retiring, isn't he?
Jones
is talking about retiring.
Yeah, man. I think he wants to go, isn't it?
I think undefeated is big for him. Do you know what I mean? I think it's massive, and I think the way he talks about Tom Aspinall is like he makes some good points and stuff, but it's like you got to fight him, bro. You got to fight him. You got to fight him. You got to do it before this is done.
I think he might get like a Pereira before
Really?
Masvidal,
You think so? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I don't
think
mate,
UFC will will get that
money out.
man.
Yeah, let's go, son. Because I
Let's
want
go
to see him
for
fight
that.
both anyway. Do you know what I mean? I want the Pereira fight because I think that's a great fight. Because, like I said, John Jones would be a favourite, but I think that can go wrong, can't it? Pereira can.
Oh yeah.
He can put that out.
Every fight can go wrong, man.
Yeah, especially with a guy like that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that guy's a special guy.
Was that famous quote of Tyson? Everyone has a plan until you get punched in the face,
Right,
isn't
yeah,
it? So
exactly. Yeah.
everything can go wrong in a fight, but that's the fun thing, right?
That's it, man. That's it. Because the other one, obviously, that went off recently was the lightweight belt with Islam Makhachev. He got switched last minute, didn't he? He was supposed to have like a grappling heavy match, and then he fought Moicano.
Yeah.
That's the guy. And he's a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt as well,
Yeah,
apparently, right?
Moicano, yeah,
But there's
yeah.
levels, right? There's like...
No, he's a good jiu-jitsu man.
Is he?
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's very good jiu-jitsu. But yeah, I'm always confused with the Ev, right? Makachev,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But he's a few steps ahead with everyone in division, right, man? Tough wrestling, so very tough ground game. Yeah, I don't see anyone on the division to get him out at the moment, right?
Well, they're talking about Topuria going up and fighting him, aren't they?
That would be interesting.
Be interesting.
Right? I would like to see it before Topuria and Sugar.
That'd be a great fight.
That would be a great fight
That'd be a
too.
good fight.
Yeah,
I like
man.
that fight. I just think, I think Topuria, as great as he is, if he went up to Makhachev, I think the size would be a big deal.
That would be a big deal, yeah,
Makhachev's
because
a
it
big
makes
boy.
difference. Yeah,
Do you know
like
what I mean?
he's a big boy, long arms, isn't he?
Yeah. Big. I think he's big everywhere, isn't he? He's probably as big as you could be healthy for a lightweight.
And he has
You
a
know what
good, and good wrestling, right? So
Monster wrestling.
Monster
Monster
man.
wrestling.
Beautiful,
that last fight, the way he put that
beautiful
choke on
to watch,
quick,
isn't
it
it?
was like, oh man.
I was trying to explain the kids like another day, and he does the darts like this, holding his forearm, right?
Yeah.
And then he's like, but the guy was holding his forearm. I'm like, yeah, but he's the same pressure than he for him, right? So it doesn't change too much for him. He's like crushing schools everywhere, right, man?
He's been doing that since he was fucking 4 as well, wasn't he? Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
there's videos, isn't there? You see him.
Wrestling with bears and everything.
Well, you see him with like Khabib when they're like babies. Do you know what I mean? And they're doing all kinds of stuff. Sorry, do you need to let these in? We good? Good?
Yeah, we're good.
We're good. We'll finish up soon anyway, mate. Before we do, anything you want to shout out, mate? Any sponsors, any comps you got coming up you want to give people info on?
Oh, yeah. Big shout out to Progress, the best in the game.
Keep hearing that.
Yeah.
We'll link them in below. Anything you want in the description,
Yes.
man.
I'm just have London Open ahead. In February, I'm flying to London.
Oh, hit me up, bro.
Yeah,
London.
sure thing,
let's do this,
Let's have that pint after,
100%.
right?
Yeah, I'll drink water, but we'll have a pint of water together.
Okay, a pint of water then. But yeah, I'm going to London for the weekend in February. And I think for now, that's it.
That's it. Good
Yeah.
man. Well, man, I really appreciate it,
But thank you for having me.
This has been good. I really
Thank you,
appreciate
Ali.
it,
It was
bro.
very nice.
Before we finish, the most important question I always ask everybody. Now, you've lived in London, so you
okay.
better give me a good answer, bro.
Okay.
Which football team you support?
Oh, football team.
Yeah.
Palmeiras.
Okay.
You know
All right.
Palmeiras?
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
Brazilian,
Brazilian
right?
team.
Yeah.
You can have that one. I thought you was going to say...
I was thinking about here if you wanted me to say some London football team you're asking.
Yeah. Careful now.
Okay.
Careful.
Let's say if we're talking about UK football.
They play in blue. Just saying. Just throwing it out there.
Okay. Are you talking about Manchester City?
Oh, no, bro. Bro,
Blue.
10 push-ups. Come on, son. 10 push-ups.
No. Who plays in blue? I'm very bad.
Chelsea.
in football.
Come on, son. Chelsea. Well done. Good answer. Very
thank you,
good.
brother. I was almost telling.
That's what you meant.
I almost saying Mill Hill, but
Mate, I really appreciate you. As I say, I always finish with a fist up like this, mate.
Mate.
Squeeze the neck. Boom!